Rhomeyn, we interviewed Bill Duke for the second time. He gave us a wonderful interview both times, and we had a video we wanted to play and get your reaction. So
Okay.
here we go.
I think all of us are everything. And people say to me, how can you say that? I'm a woman with a child. I'm not a murderer. Okay. Suppose somebody just came up and hit your baby in the head with a hammer. What would you call your response to that if you pick that hammer up? No one's saying you're a murderer. No one's saying you're anything, but you're everything. And if you're hired to do a job, the director doesn't hire you to act like that person. The director hires you to become that person.
Right.
And that's something that most people don't understand about acting. Acting is not, that word is annoying because it means you're pretending. Acting is not pretending. Acting is becoming. It's surrendering to the spirit of whatever that character you're describing is. There's a thing called stage fright. That's when you're in the middle. You've given part of yourself up to be the character, but your ego and your fear and paranoia is watching how you give it up and tries to control the shape of that giving up.
Right.
But real actors, like the ones that I adore, and the Kate Winslets and the Meryl Streeps and the Denzels when he's really in it, and the Sam Jacksons and Philip Seymour Hoffmans and the Jeffrey Wrights, and when those people go there, there's nobody there except that character, and that's admirable. It takes courage, and people don't understand because sometimes you're not in control. You're on a ride. You have to trust, and the person you trust is the director to say, "Did I ride right? What do you think?" Because you don't stand outside and look at your ride. You ride. And that's what real great actors do. Philip Seymour Hoffman is one of my favorite actors of all time. I think he was brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Can someone still be great and have stage fright?
They can be great and have stage fright. They can be really good and have stage fright.
Right.
But to surrender totally to the moment and to totally respond to what the other person that you're acting with is doing, that takes courage. You're not watching yourself anymore, you're watching the person you're with in the scene. You're not watching how you react to what they do. You're responding like we're talking right now. I'm not trying to be a special anything. I'm just responding to what you're asking me. And that's what acting should be. One of my great acting teachers, when I was a very young actor, when I asked a similar question, he said, "I'm going to make it real simple for you." He said, "It's like falling into darkness backward." Imagine just falling into darkness backward. No control of your landing.
That's right.
If you're going to be caught or not. Just fall. Everybody said, well, suppose there's a rock back there, or suppose there's a...
You hit your head.
I don't know, no pillows and just hard floor. The writer is saying to you, I want you to fall into darkness backward. I've given you all the description, the director and I, of who the character is. We've had rehearsals and discussions about who this human being is. I do not want you to describe them to me. I want you to become them by falling into darkness backward.
Right.
Can you do that?
Oh, I agree with him. I would take it a step further on one of them when he says becoming. Instead of acting, you become the person. I mean, yeah, it's just a kind of wordplay, but I would say instead of becoming, you be the person. You be what you are. I've studied, I think I've studied every major technique. Stanislavski, the method, because they all come from Stanislavski. Well, they all come from Stanislavski. Every form of, or method, or style, it all originates, the modern acting originates from Stanislavski. And I've studied all of them, and the one I recognize to me that works best for me, I mean, you use bits and pieces of everything, but the one that the one technique that I really use more of, or really, is Meisner. Because Meisner is you are that person. And one thing that they always stressed to us in Meisner when I was studying Meisner was, don't ever say my character wants to do this, or my character is that, or this or that. No, it's I am this, I am that. See, which takes you beyond becoming. Because see, to me, when you're becoming, or you become this character, to me, you're still, and I agree with everything basically. You still outside somewhat of the character, you're still kind of outside. But to be the character, then you're inside all the way. And that's part of what he's saying about falling backwards. I mean, you into it to the point where it's just you, and you just let go and trust yourself. That's what he's saying. But I agree. He's a hell of an actor and director.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of funny when he mentioned Denzel Washington, about when Denzel lets himself, when he goes into it. Sometimes, and great as Denzel Washington is, sometimes I can see he's working. And when he did Fences, and to be honest, to give him, he was directing as well as acting. So he had to come outside of it to work with the other people, and especially Viola Davis, who to me is just, she's tremendous. She's like the newer, I hate to say that, but like she's like the newer Meryl Streep, And there's quite a few. I mean, Cate Blanchett, there's quite a few. And I love Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis to me is the one that he is more than any other actor to me, as we talked earlier. He is Hawkeye, he is crazy, Bill or whatever from Gangs of New York. He is that. He is the oil baron that throws that bowling ball at that boy, and actually try to hurt him. Because he's so far in that, he frightens those people. And all of those actors like Leonardo DiCaprio and Paul Dano and all of them said that after working with him and seeing how he works, that took them to a whole nother level. And especially Leonardo DiCaprio. And he did some really nice stuff when he was a kid, you know.
Basketball Diaries.
Yeah, really nice stuff.
Yeah.
But after Gangs of New York, he took a step. He took a step up to me. And when he did Revenant, he wasn't acting. He wasn't becoming. He was that character. I mean, for anybody that might not have seen the movie, when he goes over the cliff after the Indian or whatever were chasing him, and that big horse falls over, and then the horse breaks his neck and dies, and he's screwed up. To survive, when he cuts that and guts that horse and then takes his clothes off to make sure he can get that warmth of the horse, he gets inside of that thing. And I'm sure, you know, and they they didn't have a real horse, I don't think. But the fact that he was able to convey that and get that into it, and when the bear attacked him, I mean, you can't just act. You can't say, well, okay, I'm gonna act. You have to be that person at that point. He was that guy getting savaged and scraped and beat and just chewed on by that bear. I mean, it just was like, wow. And he won the Oscar because he was so far gone. It's like last year, another one of my favorite actors is Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman, no matter what he does, Gary Oldman is that person. He's not acting or pretending, or he is that person. Even when he plays Commissioner Gordon in the Batman franchise, he was Commissioner Gordon. I mean, he's done some brilliant, and he just did Winston Churchill. I mean, I was just mesmerized. He won an Oscar. But I was completely like, wow, completely just mesmerized by him, because he became Winston Churchill. And I tell you who, I haven't seen it yet, but this movie Vice with Christian Bale.
Just saw it.
You saw it? Mm-hmm. And from what I'm hearing, he was Dick Cheney.
Excellent. Mm-hmm.
And Dick Cheney, I'm sorry, whoever's watching this, Dick Cheney's a diabolical, evil person. But he became Dick Cheney. In the previews I saw I saw a movie a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember what it was, but they showed the preview of Vice. And to let me know in the show just how far in, watching the trailer of it at the theater, when it's over, you can tell when somebody really connects. When everybody in the theater just getting ready to watch the movie we're there for says, ooh. Yeah. You know, when you hear that buzz in the audience, you know, sometimes it'll be a laughter on something really silly and funny kind of trailer. You know, they connect, so you laugh. But when I saw that, everybody was like, ooh. Because we saw Dick Cheney. And then, you know, the thing where, you know, he's sitting in the truck and he just, boom, shoots his friend. You know, whether that happened like that or not, but it was just really all the way in. And I think that's what the whole thing about acting is, or being an actor, and which is what I find so great about this. And you can never, ever master this. You never master this. And people say, what do you mean you don't master it? No, you don't ever master this. You always have something to learn. It's not like, well, got that down. Because you're only as good as your last performance. And especially so in theater. Theater is the one place where you get instant gratification and instant critique. Film, you know, you can do 100 takes or whatever, or they could edit it together.
Sure.
And then 6 months later or whatever, when they release it, then you'll find out or you'll get your critique. But on stage, you get it immediately. So anybody, and I've been there, like all actors, where you do a great performance one night, and then it's like the next night it's like, yeah, well, you know, they really like me, they love me, you know, I was tremendous. And the next night, fall flat on your face, which is a lesson to learn. It's like, you have to commit every moment you're out there. The performance is gonna be different. No two performances. I've been in stuff in plays and shows and stuff with people, especially musicals, it's always different. But most plays are, and I've had actors and younger actors and people say, even some older actors say, I didn't do this right. It's not like it was last night. No, it's not like that. It's gonna be different, which is the challenge of it, and which is, to me, is like the blessing and everything of it, is the fact that, yeah, I can't master this, because I've always been the type coming up where I would get bored with stuff, especially in school. I would get bored with it. By the time I got to college, and I went over some of the same stuff I had done in high school, I was like, okay, this is college. How many times am I gonna go over this? I know this. Okay. And a lot of that stuff, they wasn't giving me a new perspective on it. It wasn't giving me, oh, this is a new way to do it, which would excite me to the point of, oh, it's something different? It's all the same. So eventually I'm like, okay. But when I got into this, each time is different, which thrills to this day. I'm thrilled. The fact that, oh, it's different each time. And I gotta make sure that I don't screw it up, or if I do, so be it. I gotta use that. You know, when I first got into business, if I made a mistake, or somebody I knew, we were younger actors, you make a mistake, you might show the audience that you would make a mistake because of your reaction to the mistake. But when you are that person, when you are that character, and you all the way in, you can deal with that because you make mistakes. You make mistakes when we talking. I mean, I've glitched a couple of times here, but that's real. Yeah. It's not like, okay, I got to go back over that line because I said that wrong. No. You have to work through that. It's to the point now, and I try, I mean, hopefully it works, but I try when I make a mistake doing something live, that I use it to the point where the audience doesn't know I made a mistake. That's when you really locked in, and when you are that character, when it's something that you are, and you're gonna stumble. I know actors that fall apart after they stumble. Oh, I stumbled over the line. It's like, oh, you stumble over lines all day long. You stumbling, walking in here, you know. You hit your foot on the door or something, you know, your elbow hits. It's like you're not just walking in there, I didn't hit anything, that was perfect. No, you make mistakes all over. That's what makes it real. And when you do that and you just continue, I was in a show years ago where I played Skeeter the Junkie.